We have beaten Fallout New Vegas as a pacifist, a hitman, and even as Andrew Ryan from the Bioshock series. But what about an evil scientist? Well, you no longer have to wonder about that question, because today we will be answering that question of, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as Dr. Neo Cortex from Crash Bandicoot? The rules for this run are pretty simple. The only weapons you can use are energy weapons, because that's the weapons he uses in Crash Bandicoot, energy weapons. The armor, I can wear armor, but mostly I will be wearing a lab coat, which I will be getting when I meet up with the followers of the apocalypse. So, after waking up and entering the name Dr. Neo Cortex,
nice.
I spent probably the longest amount of time on creating the good doctor's face. It took me about 15 minutes looking at my phone, which had a picture of him on it, and I think I did pretty well.
You could talk, oh my god, what's wrong with your face?
Now we come to the stats. I put 4 into strength, 5 into perception, 6 into endurance, 6 into charisma, 9 into intelligence, 1 in agility, and 9 in luck. Now you might be wondering, why didn't I put intelligence up to 10? Well, yes, Dr. Neo Cortex is a very smart person, but he did create Crash Bandicoot, which is the bane of his existence. So he loses a point of intelligence there. Now this is the first run where I've actually put points into charisma, and the only reason I've done that is because he seems to be able to talk his way out of a lot of situations. So he's got a little bit of charisma. And luck is because he just somehow just keeps surviving all of these defeats and coming back again and again and again. So the main skills should be really obvious. Energy weapons, speech, and science. And for traits, we went skilled and the wild wasteland. So, after leaving Doc Mitchell's home, I make my way to Chet's to sell all of the stuff that you get with the DLCs, because I'm only allowed to be using energy weapons. So while I'm there, I buy a GRA energy pistol and a couple of mods to put on it. I buy a shovel and also an energy rifle which recharges over time. This will be useful because at the moment I haven't got a lot of energy cells. But when we go to the Brotherhood of Steel base, we're going to get a lot. After this, I go straight to Hidden Valley to do the Black Mountain exploit to get to New Vegas pretty quickly. I find Hidden Valley, I'm going to come back later, and I make my way to Black Mountain where I attack several centaurs, and one called Mo. After this, I level up to level 2, and I put the points into the 3 main skills. I've chosen energy weapon, speech, and science. For level 2, you get to take a perk. I took the Confirmed Bachelor perk because it allows you to do more damage against male targets. And when we go up against the Legion, they're all male. After this, we come across the dead NCR trooper that is just in front of the pass to get us to New Vegas. I take the armor because the monorail, I'm not paying 2,000 caps as usual. And we discover Repcon HQ, which will be important later. I'm going to come back, but I need science up to 100 first. While I was making my way to Camp McCarran, I thought, why don't I get rid of the Khans now, so I don't have to come back later? So that's what I did. I did a detour. From there, I found Red Rock Canyon. I killed all of them. I leveled up again, put some points into speech because I need that for when I see Benny, and I put some extra points into energy weapons as well just to even it out. So, with the Khans now gone, I make my way back to Camp McCarran and head into Vegas. After arriving at the tops, I level up 2 more times after seeing Benny, and I put all of those into speech. After talking to Swank, who, if you can persuade him, he will give you Benny's key. You go up to his room, you find Yes Man, and then you report back after you speak to Yes Man for a bit. Now it's time to deal with Benny. And I thought Benny was going to be a little bit of a nuisance to deal with, seeing as my energy weapons were high in skills, but they weren't as high as they should be. But no, I killed him pretty quickly actually. I have to say, he went down faster than I thought he would. So after that very short fight, I get the chip and go and see Mr. House, which is the first time I've actually gone to see Mr. House in any of these runs, apart from killing him. After I give him the chip, he gives me 1,000 caps, and he shows me a demonstration of the Mark II Securitrons. And then he asks me to go to the fort to do it with the rest. But before I go to the fort, I pay the followers of the apocalypse a visit. Because I think it's time, if you're going to be an evil scientist, you need some sort of a lab coat. And then I headed on my way to the Repcon HQ, because by this point I had science of 100. Because I wanted to get the unique plasma rifle, the Q.
Nice.
35. And trust me, it will help a lot, especially when we come to the Brotherhood of Steel. After that, I make my way to the fort, and I do Mr. House's bidding and activate the robots. You can't tell by now, we are going down the Mr. House route, because I've done Yes Man and the NCR. I'm now going to do Mr. House, which means the next ending we're going to do in the next Can You Beat run will be Caesar's Legion, because then that's all 4 endings done. And then after that, I can just do Yes Man for the rest of it. With that done, I return to Mr. House, who asks me to either ask the boomers to help or kill them. Now, I can't be bothered to do their fucking stupid quest, so I went down the option of killing them all. After I'd killed the boomers, I decided I would make my way to the Brotherhood of Steel first before returning to Mr. House. 2 birds, 1 stone, only got to talk to him once about it. Now, the Brotherhood of Steel was a little bit tricky at first, but after I killed a few of them, I got some Gauss rifles. And that turned the tables for them, oh boy. The Gauss rifles do a lot of damage against the Brotherhood of Steel. Plus, my energy weapons were nearly 100 at this point, so I did a lot of damage. After killing the Brotherhood of Steel and stealing loads of energy weapons and ammo, I was fine for energy weapons. I returned to Mr. House and he asked me to go to Gamora, which was literally just right across the street from the Lucky 38. When inside, I found that they were hiding weapons. This is for the Legion if they were going to take the strip from the inside, and Gamora were working with the Legion. I managed to convince Toroki that I would set him free from his contract and that he would be the one to destroy the weapons. I left him for a few hours, came back, and met up with Chino again, who informed me that he was dead. But before he died, he told the bosses that I put him up to it. So me and Chino go to see the bosses. Now, I haven't got any of my energy weapons, and he gives me a sawn-off shotgun. Now, this could have been a real bad thing for the run. But I remembered that you can tell the boss that his friend told me about the stuff. He then kills his friend, and then I let Chino kill the other guy in the room. Which means I didn't have to lift a fucking finger. With that done, I went back to Mr. House and reported that the Chimeras would no longer be a problem. He then said he would wanted the Brotherhood of Steel destroyed, but I told him I've already done it. He was very impressed by that. Now I need to go to the El Dorado power station. After completing that, I return to the Lucky 38 one last time. Now, usually, you would then have to go to Hoover Dam before that and save President Kimball's life. But I didn't have to. For some unknown reason, he'd survived. I don't know what happened. He had survived his assassination. So I didn't have to do that bullshit. After arriving at the dam with my Securitron escort, I managed to get to the control room and plug Mr. House into the dam systems. He then asked me to activate a switch which would send power from the dam to the fort, activating the Securitron army, which would help me get to the Legate's camp a lot fucking easier. Now, I could kill the Legate. The weapons I had would have been good enough, but I thought my speech is at 97. I also have a suit with +5. And the rules didn't say I couldn't wear a suit, because I didn't say I had to wear a lab coat the entire time, only when I wasn't in danger. So I put that on, meaning that my speech would be over 100. After this, I actually convinced the Legate. I said, no, sir, I'll see you in Fallout New Vegas 2, or the remaster, whenever it comes out first. And yeah, he left. With that, I then had to speak to Oliver. Now, I'd taken the suit off to speak to Oliver, because I thought, well, if I'm going to shoot him, I'm going to shoot him in the lab coat. But no, I could actually convince him to step down a different way. After doing this, I spoke to Mr. House and completed Fallout New Vegas as Dr. Neo Cortex. Which means, yes, you can beat Fallout New Vegas as Dr. Neo Cortex. So as I said, next one, I'll be doing the Legion ending, so I'm going to have to think of a good character to be, or if I just want to be, can you beat Fallout New Vegas as an asshole? But yeah, it was real fun to do this. I've been enjoying doing the Can You Beat challenges. There's another challenge Fallout video coming out. I think it'll either be the end of this week or the beginning of next week. It'll be one of those ones where it's not me talking, but it's just a full-on fucking just meme. But yeah, I do hope you've enjoyed this episode of Can You Beat Fallout New Vegas as, and I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!